Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Wednesday, it's hump day, and I'm joined today by my husband, as always, Jimbo, and Mr. Big Time, Nicholas. How you doing, Jimbo?
You say it's hump day. Does that mean sex tonight? Is that what
You
it
can have
is?
sex tonight. I don't know who it would be with, but yeah, you can if you want.
I thought hump day was sex day.
Well, it hasn't been for the past 23 years, but we can start a new tradition if you want.
Yes, please.
How are you anyway, Jimbo?
Oh, good. Had a lovely day yesterday with you, out for the day with you and my boy. So, yeah. All's good. And I am the problem.
Mm-hmm. It was an absolutely lovely day touring the new stadium, feeling very, very big time with Mickey Hazard, who was stopped at every corner for photographs. So it was a lovely day. And thank you again to Mickey for giving up his time when he wasn't well as well to come and show us around the stadium. But yes, we are the problem. But hey, who cares? Mr. Slim, Nicholas, how are you doing?
Nicholas.
Well, I was going to say, it's just a bit like going to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when I'm there, no? Photos, people saying hello from Australia or Greece or somewhere like that, no? It's just the same.
Well, it was, yeah. In fact, I think you got stopped more, actually, to be fair. How you doing, Nick? You well?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just, I'm on Emerson Watch, which is a bit like... no, I'm not going to say that because that's not very appropriate. But I'm on Emerson Watch. I'm batting everyone away. He's still our player. Apparently, last night the talks are going to happen today, and we'll see. We shall see if he is still there. We have. Well, I've held out about another 3 more days since my last message going at everyone. So if we, slowly but surely, inch by inch, we're getting towards the 31st of August. Then Turkey's window shuts 7 days later, which is a travesty. But I feel like maybe in a few hours my phone is going to absolutely explode because we will get the official news, and it will be a sad day in not only my household, but the best right back at Tottenham Hotspur will be leaving the club. So
this is why I wore black today, just for that reason.
After pre-season, I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying we should keep him.
Well, where were they now? It's like Delia Smith. Where are you? Let's be having you. If you're not there for him at his worst, you don't deserve Emerson at his best. So I'm sorry. All you flip-flops now can go flip-flop into the sunset.
To be fair, I'm hoping, Nick, with your connections to the man himself, we might get breaking news while you're on air from your Emerson contacts to say whether he's staying or going or what on earth's going on, because this is such a saga. But
it's Tottenham Hotspur all over. It's a saga.
Yeah, of course it is. Let's have a look who's in the chat. We've got Ian Meth who's in the chat. Big up, Ian. Hope you're well. Shemtan says, afternoon, Princess Kate, Sir Jimbo, and the Earl of Tottenham. Mr. Nick, hope all's well. We're good. Hope you're doing well, Shem. Afternoon, AJ says, big up, Kate, Jim, and of course, Nicholas. Always nice to have a choice, Jimbo.
Yeah.
There you go. And Emerson was excellent as at centre forward. Does that mean?
I think it means centre back.
Oh, I was going to say CF is centre forward.
But the B is not really near the F. So I don't know if Ian's typing that on his phone and he was. I don't know, but yeah, he was. To be fair, he was excellent at centre forward as well. He hit the bar, didn't he? So, what can you say? He's just everywhere.
I had to message you that as well, so you obviously wasn't watching him.
Huh?
I messaged you that he hit the bar.
When was that? Saturday. I was at cricket.
Oh yeah, I know, but I was saying I
watched the first half, and then I say the first half. I think the first. The Bayern Munich open training session for the first 45 minutes. That's what it was more like. So, and then I had to go. I had unfortunately had to go out and umpire and do my duties. So,
Paul Jesus says, "Good afternoon, all Solanke," which we will get into shortly. Catalan says Skip should be captain. Barbaric Disdain says, good afternoon to the dynamic trio. Big up to you. Afternoon, Ronnie. Hope you're well. Ian says he meant centre half. Multitasking. The third shirt's looking nice. Yeah, Jimbo, this is the shirt I've ordered you, so it should be coming anytime.
You bought me it.
I bought you that one, yeah. So
hopefully it fits this time, Jimbo.
I bought two.
Look, it's got the retro badge, which is quite nice. And I don't know why. I actually quite like the tick on this way rather than that way, and it's obviously got a white one and it's got a little green one you can see.
Nice.
And a weird collar, but some nice colours on the sleeve trim. So here we go.
It's like having got Kwan in the building here.
Right. We bought 4 shirts yesterday. Two for me.
You're the problem, Jim. You're the problem.
You're the problem.
Stadium tour, spent money in the club shop, spent money in the cafe. You are the problem, Jimbo.
Yeah, I love it.
They're all retro shirts we bought though, but you have got 3 new shirts coming, Jim, as well. But they haven't arrived
another
yet.
5 shirts. I love it.
Big up to you, Paul. Hope you're well. Condolences, Nick, says Jazz Fusion. He's still here.
He's still here. There's no condolences. No condolences.
I'm wearing black just in case, but at the minute he's hanging on for dear life and he's still here. Good afternoon, Finn, and also Steve RFC. Good to see you. It's come out that Tottenham apparently are on the verge of completing their deal for Dominic Solanke, with the final round of talks scheduled for today. Nick, we spoke about it briefly just now, and you sort of said about the homegrown element. I'm really I can't say disappointed. I'm a bit gutted to be linked with this guy. I don't think he's as much of an upgrade as I was hoping. What's your thoughts on Solanke?
Well, yeah, I mean, just like I said, we have to wait until the window closes, but Barcelona have just signed Dani Olmo.
They've signed him.
Yeah, 22 hours ago we got the here we go. So that was when I was looking for the Emerson, just the Emerson news. So that was 22 hours ago. Verbal agreement in place, 55 million guaranteed plus 7 million in add-ons. Main part difficult to reach. 6-year deal valid until June 2030. So that's exciting for Barcelona. But I think I'm with you. Now. I'm kind of a bit underwhelmed and a bit disappointed. But there's news flying all around Saudi Arabia about Richarlison potentially going. So me and Lee Smithy Smith are going to be in absolute mourning if that both happens today or the next couple of days. So if that allows us to do other things, then so be it. But I just feel that now if we're going to stick by it, we've got to stick in one lane. If we're not going to go out and buy the players that we need, then I think we need to go and play the youngsters. Because if Richarlison goes and that allows a Neto, and then you have a Neto Solanke son, I'm not really excited by it. But we just have to wait and see. I know as always people are losing their minds on the Tottenham Hotspur roller coaster, but we just have to support the club, support the team. A lot of people support the team, not the regime. Well, if they're the 11 players on the pitch on the first game of the season, we've got to support the 11 players on the pitch, whether we wanted them, whether we didn't want them, whether we wanted someone else. Jimbo's always right when he says that. We've got to support the team and we've got to get behind them. And I think if we do that, then that's all we can do. We don't work for Tottenham Hotspur. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We know what's happened in the past. And we'll just have to see. But yeah, it is. I understand the frustrations. I understand the people being upset, but you can either let it choose your mood or you can let it say it is what it is. We can't change it. We're not going to sit here and go suddenly send 25,000 emails to Tottenham Hotspur. And also, I think what we need to remember is a lot of people will put this on Daniel Levy. My understanding is, and I could be wrong, really, but I could be wrong, is Scott Munn is the person that's looking after the footballing side of it. So actually, Scott Munn and Lange are the ones that should be the one taking the heat, let's just say, rather than it all being aimed at the easiest target, let's just say.
Yeah, I hear you. Jimbo, I know you said that you're feeling a little bit more positive about Solanke now.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence. I mean, I you know what I'm like, Kate. If they come to this club, I support them. I don't care who they are. And I don't have meltdowns if a player comes. Look, at the end of the day, what I've been reading, you know, I started reading bits about him from experts, and they say that he gets better every season. How old is he now?
26.
Oh, Solanke, yeah, about 26, I think.
26, 27. They said he gets better every season. Maybe he had a good season last season. Everyone's saying one season wonder. But you know, if he comes in, we've got to get behind him and hope that he hits the ground running and support him. You know, I would have picked. He wouldn't have been my choice, but at the end of the day, let's hope they know what they're doing and they've picked him for a reason. You know, that I have read quite a bit that he is perfect for the system we're playing. That he is the type of player we need. So we have to wait and see. You know, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people out there slagging him down, so we don't need to.
I mean, the thing is, I was talking about this on the terrace. The actual stats with Richarlison and Solanke aren't that much different, except that Solanke doesn't get injured half as much as Richarlison, which is, for me, the one positive about him coming in for that price. I just think if you're going to upgrade him...
Okay, he does his ACL in the first game or
something.
Don't.
Do you know what? That would be so Spursy. But I was hoping, you know, we paid 60 million, whatever it was, for Richie, or 50 million plus add-ons, whatever it was. To go then to get Solanke, I was looking for a bigger upgrade than Solanke.
What is his price? What's being touted around that we're buying him for?
Well, they want 65. We've offered around 50, as far as I know, unless another offer's gone in and I'm not aware of it. But I mean, he's good in the air. He has shots on target. I mean, you look at the difference in the minutes played. If you work it out, they're very, very similar. So for me, it's underwhelming. But like Nick says and you say, there's nothing we can do about it. I mean, I'm getting pelters left, right, and centre from the football terrace community who all think I'm bonkers for not rating this guy. But I just don't think he's what level we wanted to go to. But then maybe us Tottenham fans have to accept that we're never going to get to that level because of the board and the way the club's run. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, really. But it looks like it's going to happen, regardless of...
I've just had a message from Lee Smithy Smith. Mr. Nick, my brother, if the bad news happens today, I'm here, so support you in any way. And if both Brazilians go, then we're smashing the stadium up. And if Richie goes for the sake of Solanke, I give up. Solanke is the only English striker that can't get in the England squad.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. So yeah, I mean, like I say, I do find it funny. I was going to put this out to you, you both, really. Toney's sitting there. His price has been dropped and dropped and dropped. I think it's at 40 at the minute. I think it will go down again. Why is no one sort of putting an offer and trying to get this guy? He's already come out and said he desperately wants to move. Why?
Maybe he's coming as well.
I don't think that's happening, but
I think that there's a lot of, because of what's happened. I think that there's a lot of the negative feedback surrounding it. I guess it's not comparing, you know, it's kind of chalk and cheese, but I guess a Mason Greenwood would be under the same umbrella after what happened.
Yeah.
And I think from a sponsorship point of view, if we're talking from a business side of point of view, I don't necessarily think that you know, there's maybe a risk in terms of that. Maybe. The other thing is, I think he's just going to run down his contract. He knows now that Brentford need a striker. I mean, he's very, I guess from an ego point of view, you saw how he was at the Euros, how, I only got 5 minutes and all the stuff that, that he was saying, well, I should be playing and everything else. So there's that. And I think we've seen that, if we take, not on the same scale, but if you take someone like Reguilon, who I actually didn't think was a bad player and probably could work in Ange's system, but under all the other managers, they've seen that there's something that's not right. So, and he doesn't need to go, right? Because he knows that they've got the person that replaced him is injured and out till Christmas. He can run down his contracts. January, he can sign a pre-contract agreement and get paid a hell of a lot more money. So, for Brentford, I think it's yes, they'll lose out on a transfer fee, but in theory, they should gain it on the pitch because he's going to want to be banging in goals to try and, increase the suitors, let's just say.
Yeah. It seems strange, but yeah, maybe that is what it is. Everyone thinks because of the risk we get him on a free or whatever, but I do find it strange. Like I say, maybe there was all this build up with this going to be such a big window, and then Solanke to be touted is a bit of a disappointment, but he is at his pomp, and maybe a lot of people are saying he could be a late bloomer, so maybe he might work.
Well, what the guys in the terrorist group saying then, Kate?
They all just can't understand. I mean, Terry thinks that Solanke and Gray are going to be two of the best bits of business done in the window this year, and everyone's like, why don't you like him? He's a complete striker. He's quick. He's this. He's that. He's such a massive upgrade on Richarlison. But I just don't see that. I don't see it. But I said to them all, I hope you're all right and I look like an idiot and that it works out and this guy bangs in 30 goals for us. But I just personally don't see it. I think he's a bit of a one-season wonder. He's done steady. He's done well in the Championship. But I don't know. We'll see. I just hope that everyone else is right and I'm wrong, which probably will be what happens.
I'll tell you what will be right is there'll be a lot of meltdowns.
Of course, yeah.
Oh God! What? Like there was, he misses one chance, and then there'll be a meltdown. I told you he's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you I was right. You were wrong. La, 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 la.
Yeah. John Michael said it before, it don't really matter who we sign. Ange plays kamikaze football. Without a good 6, we will have a hard season. Way too many chances conceded. I spoke to Mickey about this yesterday and I said to him, what do you think about people that say that Ange plays kamikaze football? And he said, I think that a lot of what they say is right, but it's a risk and reward thing. And once it's executed properly and works, it's beautiful and it's the Tottenham way to play. But I do think, I said to George this morning, I would rather save the 65 million, put a youth player up there and use that to buy a couple of, at least one really good winger and a defensive midfielder, because I think that's so important for us this year. But I don't know. Everyone's got a different view on it. We just have to see how it pans out. Afternoon, Drew. I've not seen you for a little while. I was thinking about you today. Hope you're well. Saying, that looks like he might go on a free. Wonder if there'll be an unexpected turns like Van der Vaart or Vicario. Yeah, a late marquee signing. Probably not. Solanke had one good season. Yeah, that's what worries me. Would any of the so-called top 6 clubs buy him? Well, KJ said he would take him at Manchester United, but everybody else said he's a good signing for Spurs, which says it all, really. They wouldn't want him at their club, but he's a good signing for us. So,
who are the top 6? Are we even in the top 6?
Exactly.
I don't know anymore. I think you've got to look at it. I mean, I can't see anywhere other than City or Arsenal is where the Premier League's going, and then it'll be the also runs. I don't really see that it's going to be 6 going for it. So, what is the top 6? I mean, we're seeing now. Obviously, Chelsea lost again, and they look like the start of what they fixed towards the end of last season. It looks like they've gone backwards again. So I don't know if if Newcastle, are they considered top 6? I don't know. So yeah, and obviously Liverpool are going to be interesting to see what happens with Arne Slot. So look, there's lots of variables, and this is why I think actually United stuck with Ten Hag, and obviously we've still got Ange for the moment, is because it's about stability. There's so many variables that are going to happen with those clubs that are changing managers, or ownership, or what's happening at Newcastle. You know who's going to be the next England manager? Is that an Eddie Howe? He's dismissed it. You never know. So there's a lot of things that are going on. But the two teams that are really set on everything is City and Arsenal, unfortunately. And it could be the year that we actually have to concede defeat and say that Arsenal are actually going to win the Premier League. Which is a horrible thing to say and come out of my mouth, but I think if you're being realistic, City can't keep going on and on and on and on, and no. Arsenal are nearly there. So
I think as well with Alvarez going, I don't know whether City will bring in a big name, but I'm every day when I'm looking at business being done, I'm edging towards thinking this could be Arsenal's year this year. I think a lot of people, I know Jim, I think you said it, AJ said you think they'd drop off. I think they're gonna do it this year unless City change something drastic.
Please don't put words in my mouth. I said if they don't buy well, they drop off. That's what I said.
Well,
it all depends on what people. What's Coover put?
Just blow 200 million on 2 world-class forwards, and to hell with the defence. 13-12 scorelines are great fun, and reality can do one. Come on, you fucking Spurs. Big up, Coover. Thanks for the super chat. Hope you're doing better. What was you going to say there, Jimbo?
It all depends on who buys who, because it's going to be the massive difference, So we don't know who's coming in yet. It looks like Solanke's coming in. I thought it was smoke screens, but I'm wrong 90% of the time. So, but the quad's still on.
Yeah. I don't know what quad you're talking about, but there we go. The Audi Cup.
The only chance you've got, Jimbo, of a quad is you pulling your quad.
Yeah, exactly that. I think Arsenal, a lot of people say they need a striker, but they did score over 100 goals in all competitions last year. So, GBC says Liverpool couldn't compete 3 seasons in a row. Why would Arsenal be able to? But even with the drop-off, the rest of the Premier League is so shy, Arsenal might win it. Yeah, I think there's such a drop-off between Man City and Arsenal to the next one down. It's definitely going to be them two, I'm sure, fighting it out.
And Tottenham.
Next year. Arsenal winning the league, you said that very well. That took courage. There you go.
I'm not saying it again. I'm going to go and wash my mouth out.
Ange believes in his system because it's worked wherever he's managed. Scotland, Japan, Australia ain't the Premier League. Top players will punish us with this system. It's worrying. I
think you saw that the other day against Bayern Munich, and it wasn't even Bayern Munich's first team, right? You just saw how we got absolutely. And all right, you can argue it wasn't our first team because we were missing Romero and Van de Ven, but aside from that, really, that the team that started that first half is not far off being the team that starts the first Premier League game. So when you get against teams like that, then unfortunately they're that good that they can just punish you. And I think, look, for me, GBC just put it as well. I think Bergvall needs to start over Maddison that first game against Leicester.
Yeah, I agree. I do agree.
He's done nothing in pre-season. He's done nothing since there. He needs a kick up the backside. What we need these young kids put in the, these seasoned professionals, let's just say, through their through the ringer a little bit to say, look, we're young, we don't care who you are, what your name is, what you've done, what you've won. We're going to come in and we're going to show you how it's done. And that's why I said if we're going to not sign anymore, or we're going to do that, then play the youngsters, because it isn't going to, It isn't going to make any difference. Play the youngsters. Let them get experience. Let them learn. Let them make mistakes. Don't chastise the mistakes because they're young. But can't be any worse, right?
No.
Can't be any worse than playing the experienced players that do naff all anyway. Most of the time.
Talking about Maddison, I was asked this on the terrace. Jim, do you think Maddison's been a flop since signing for Spurs?
No. He started off like a steam train, didn't he? Got injured, and he hasn't kind of got back to his best. Look, let's not judge them all on pre-season. Right?
No, I'm talking about since he signed for Tottenham.
No, I don't
has
think
Maddison been a flop?
No, I don't think so. No, he hasn't been like a superstar, but he hasn't been a flop. No, let's see how he starts the season. You know, it's a big season this season for all of them. Massive.
Nick, do you think he's been a flop?
Yes, 100%.
So do I.
Since his, so everyone was saying, you know, there's a reason why no one else went for him. Everyone was sitting there going, "Oh, Tottenham have got Maddison," blah, blah, you know, same sort of conversations. What it started around Eze and everything else. If Tottenham get Eze, blah, 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 blah. There's got to be something that someone else hasn't seen. There's a gap in the data, or they've deleted a file, or whatever they've done. And Wayne Holland obviously lives up in Leicester. Leicester fan, you know, he called it. He said he'll get injured and then he'll flop. And okay, he was good, but last year was the first season he hadn't scored from a free kick. He massively, you know, for me, the only game really he performed in was probably the first North London derby at the Emirates. And then after that, he just kind of went missing a bit. I think you can argue that maybe the system doesn't fit him and it crowds him, but good players find a way to do good things, right? And I just feel like at the moment, he's more interested on rolling around on the floor than he is about getting hold of a ball or getting his foot stuck in. For me, anyway. So
I think he's been a flop. I never wanted him, did I, Jim? I never liked Maddison, and then I bought into it when I saw him play for Spurs. I thought, wow, this guy's going to be amazing, and then he's gone back to being exactly what I thought he was. And I don't think he's got the right attitude. He looks a bit sulky to me, but we see. But Bergvall, to me, I agree. He's got to start the first game. I think he looks hungry, and it looks a bit of a different gravy to Madders at the minute. Has Royal been a flop?
He's the best right back. He's the only right back at this club that can defend. So I'd say that's a no. He can no-look pass, which a lot. If you don't see a no-look pass from Emerson in the first 10 minutes, then you know that there's something wrong with him. Has he been a flop? No, I don't think so. Maybe I'm a bit biased, but I think also that he isn't a, you know, like we've always said, if you could merge Porro and Emerson into one player, you'd have the perfect right back for Ange's system, because Porro can't defend and Royal can't attack. So if you did that, then you'd be fine. But look, I think he will go. I think he will go to Italy and he will do really well. I think AC Milan goes and wins stuff. You know, it wouldn't be a surprise that another player leaves Tottenham Hotspur and they go and win a trophy, right? So
yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think Basuma's been a flop as well, because they're just not consistent. I mean, I remember Madders was being compared to Ødegaard, Basuma was being compared to Rice, but these players have been consistent, whereas we had 10 games where they were all brilliant and it's all gone a bit tits up.
Yeah, but, I think ever since that sending off at Luton, Basuma's just, I don't know what went through his head that day. It just kind of lost. He just lost it. We've got so much potential. I think that is the thing, you know, potential, young kids, one for the future. It's just so frustrating that they can't all come together at the right time. Maybe they will. Maybe the kids will put them under pressure. Maybe we will sign a Neto and an Eze and someone else. Who knows? But as it stands, knowing what's going to happen and knowing how we are on the first start, first game of the season, I keep saying it. It's going to be a Harry Winks masterclass, and he's going to come back and help us.
Thanks to the super chat, Vindaloo, keeping the beer flowing. Beer tokens for the start of the season. Jimbo, you're going to need it. I think he will. I think he might need a pillow for when he falls down to earth and realizes just how crap we are. I think that's the thing that Jimbo's going to need. But thank you for the super chat, Vindaloo.
Ball ain't even kicked in your sandwich, crap. What?
I didn't say I said we're crapper than you think we are. You think we're going to be up there, and I think we're in for a really tough season as it stands right this second with what we've got. But we had news of Valise going out on loan to Espanyol as well. Is this
I'm going to send you out to Espanyol on loan.
Oh, let's please. A bit of peace and quiet and sunshine. When can I go? Is this a case of we bought another young player who's going to not be good enough, who's going to be sent out on loan over and over, and then we're just going to give him away basically because we can't get the money back? Nick, am I being negative Nancy, or is this one of these examples?
It's Brian Hill 2.0, no? I think.
Yes.
I think it just stinks of the same thing that stinks with Brian Hill. We'll probably give him a new contract in January or something, just to make sure that we spend some more money. And I think we're going through the same situation in the striker since we've always had two strikers, Defoe, Berbatov, Keane, Sheringham, Klinsmann, all those. If you go back, it's always been two. Then we've obviously had Kane and Son, and now we're in the same situation where Manchester United were with their goalkeeper. Obviously, when Schmeichel went, okay, they chopped and changed. Then they found Van der Sar. Then after that, it's chopped and changed a little bit. They still don't have, they don't have, they have Anana who came out and said, "I'm still going to make mistakes and I'm going to go gung ho." Well, you don't want your keeper to be saying that.
No.
So look, I think we've got we just need to either, like I said, if Mikey Moore and Will Lancashire are the ones, then we need to play them. There's no point sending players out on loan if they're not going to play. Look what we've done with Scarlett. He went to Portsmouth. They changed their manager. Scarlett never played. I'm not even going to talk about Troy Parrott, because if you talk about Emerson Royal not being a footballer, Troy Parrott's not a striker. So we didn't manage that again. Again, the same thing. Tanganga, we didn't manage. All of these young kids, we don't manage correctly, and we don't have a pathway. Yes, they need opportunities, but if they're good enough and you want them at Tottenham Hotspur, then let's play them. Let's not worry about it, because if we're gonna lose or we're gonna get knocked out, then look what happened in the cups last year. We get knocked out in the first round and the second round, effectively, of the FA Cup and the League Cup. So why would we not play them? Anything's a bonus. And again, don't want to talk about Arsenal, but look at what Arsenal did in the League Cups and everything else. They played their kids, give them experience, and then you find out if they're good enough or not, because they're playing against the best. They're not playing against a Wycombe Wanderers or an Oxford United or someone like that. I know I'll probably get hate now from Lee again about Oxford United, but but I just think I know Jim's expectations are the quad is on. I think if we say we finish sixth and anything's a bonus, then you can't be disappointed.
Yeah. So. Jim, what are you thinking about Valise?
Well, it's a funny one because we haven't really had a chance to see him, have we? No,
if you're going to loan him, I agree with what AJ and Wayne said. Why not loan him to sort of a championship team? Let him play in England. Playing in Spain is completely different.
Could have sent him to Brentford, couldn't we, and got Toney. He's an hard one because I don't know what to say about him, Kate, because I don't know. Did we pay 20 million for him? I think Paul just
14,
said.
Someone said. I don't know. I thought it was nearer 20, but I'm not sure.
So I don't know. We've not had a chance to see him. He's only had bits and pieces, and he's had a few scraps. So it's difficult to judge him.
It would have been perfect if he went to Southampton, though. Just come up in the Prem, playing week in, week out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I think. AJ just said it. They need, they need. It needs to be the teams that are coming up. They haven't got loads of money, but there's a lot of bigger clubs. I wouldn't say better clubs, but bigger clubs that have players that they want to have game time. So why shouldn't we? An Ipswich, a Southampton, whoever else came up. I don't know whoever else came up. So
this thing with Brian Gill or Hill or whatever you say his name, and Valise, maybe they've sent them to Spain because they think they'll do well there and they get more money for them.
Yeah, there is that.
So obviously Spurs don't want either one of them.
Yeah, I mean Vindaloo, this Mikey Moore. I don't know if is he his birthday? Has he signed yet? I know there's the deals on the table for when he is.
He's going to sign 3 years, and he's going to get the
4 days time. 4 days. His birthday.
He's going to get the biggest contract and the biggest wage they've ever paid for a youth player.
I mean, this kid, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he looks good to me. He looks like the real deal. There's rumours that Real Madrid was sniffing around. I don't know how true that is, but
that's why they're giving him the best contract, Kate, because they believe he's something special.
But 3 years, I'd have liked to have seen it be a bit longer than that.
It says, record-breaking 3-year contract.
Yeah.
Finalised on Sunday. What does it say? Yeah, we'll give the winger a bigger salary than they've ever done for a player turning 17. So what does that mean? I don't know in monetary terms. 10 grand a week, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, they may well do that, AJ. They might give him a year and then give him a better contract. But I'm glad that he's going to sign, assuming he does, and that something doesn't go wrong in the meantime, because he does look decent. That's the longest allowed by FIFA regulations for players under the age of...
Yeah, but you know what they can do, Kate? They can do, I was reading about it, they can bump his money up by buying him a house and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So they can actually he can get more money out of the club if the club buy him a house. And so they want to look after him because they think he's something special.
He looks like a little... I say looks like a little kid. He's the same age as William, except our boy is 18 in September. But to think that this kid is going to... I mean, there's people sniffing around him left, right and centre. He looks like he's got it. I hope that, he doesn't... that he stays grounded and works hard because he looks really promising. I mean, Kuva says he's already one of our best forwards, miles ahead of the likes of Werner and Johnson. He does. He looks brilliant. But I hope they tie him down to a longer contract when he hits 18. Hang on a minute. No, I'm wrong. Is he 17? He's 17 on Sunday.
17 on Sunday, yeah.
So he's a year younger than William. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. It's
William, get off your butt and get playing football and keeping your mum and dad in the life they're accustomed to. Mikey Moore's doing it. There's no excuse.
Yeah, where is he? Go and get him over the field, Jim.
I don't know whether you also saw all those people that were lambasting the club for getting rid of Steven Bergwijn. He's leaving Ajax. Several clubs showing interest. So,
really? Wow.
Yeah, Leicester City being one of them.
Wow. I know Lee. I think Lee Smithy Smith was gutted when Bergvall left. He didn't really get a chance, I don't think. But anyway, Moore and Bergvall look different class to anything else we have, says AJ. Yeah.
How ironic if he goes to Leicester.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vindaloo also said, don't you think you need to sort out the back before the front, considering Angie's system? Jim, what do you think about our defence?
I mean, we've got a good back line. It's just a matter of getting all working together. And you can't complain about the back line as players.
I think, Jim, I think if we want this back, there's two things we need to do if we want this defence to succeed. Either we bring in a monster six to protect them, or we play Dragushin, Romero, and Van de Ven, and that allows the coverage so that Porro and Udogie can go and attack. That's the only way I think it works. And I know Ange doesn't play with a back three, but for me, realistically, that's the only way I think it works with that defense, because you saw again Porro was all right. Udogie wasn't playing. He's going to come back from injury. But what have we, Jed Spence on the left didn't work. He's going to be almost cover for kind of injuries. Ben Davies isn't quick enough. And we saw again Porro being absolutely, it's that right hand side again. I think it ever since again Kyle Walker's gone, we haven't found a suitable replacement that can play on that right hand side, that can bomb up that line, put in balls, and also bomb back and actually defend. So I think that for me is the only way that Ange's system will work in the Premier League. I know there's a lot of people that will say, well, Ange never does it and it always works. I just don't think it's going to work unless you do one of those two things. And I think, Destiny just said Pep doesn't push with two wing backs, and he's got I think even if you put Rodri in that system, you ain't gonna stop the amount of goals that kind of get, and it's the midfield as well. The midfield as well that doesn't help. So that's why you need to almost think of we need to have that, from a back four point of view. There's Calafiori as well. Again, he would have been perfect because he could have played. He could have played on that left hand side. But look, it is what it is. We have to back Ange. We have to trust what he's doing is the right thing, and ultimately, results will dictate whether he lives or dies by his sword. I think realistically, like we said, if the season had ended in the way that it started and it had been flipped the other way around, I don't think anyone would be saying these things, this is wrong and that's wrong, and we don't necessarily back Ange, or he signed Werner twice, or all of these things. Maybe it's going to start the way that it finished and it's going to end the way that it started. And then it's going to be, we're going to go on a run and do all these types of things. You never know. All that we need to do is we need to make sure that we, for the first time in 3 years, turn up to a North London derby at home, because we haven't turned up. We haven't turned up since that first one, which was delayed over COVID, or Arsenal were scared, or I don't know what their excuses were. But apart from that, the other two after that have been just like you wouldn't have thought it was a North London derby. You thought we were playing, I don't know, Wycombe Wanderers or Oxford United again. The players just weren't up for it. So
and DeFarshaw says Ange did play with a back three when the Socceroos kept facing low blocks. People say it failed, but he had 3 wins, 2 draws playing it. I mean, Zubamendi was my number one target. If I could have picked anyone, I said him all along. But I mean, it was weird because when we spoke again, like yesterday, Mickey said to us he thinks Ange is already. He said it's obvious now Ange is starting to work on a plan B. Now, whether he's seen something I haven't seen, because I don't really see that yet. But I mean, he's quite positive. It was interesting. We spoke to various people at the stadium. A lot of people that work there. We spoke about Levy. We spoke about Ange. Some of them really think Ange is the future. Some of them think he'll be gone within the next few weeks. There's a real split as to what people are feeling and seeing. But as I said, Mickey said that he thinks he's working on Plan B, whatever that is.
If Plan B is 3 at the back, and that allows the wing backs to do what they do best, because I don't actually think that Porro or Udogie are very good defenders. Let's just say I think they're more, they are more set up for attacking football. And if that means you then have someone like a Bergvall in the pocket that just sits deep and tries and drives things forward, then look, it will be it will make a massive difference. I just think that if we try and go into, because teams have worked us out, right? So if we try and go in with the same plan like we did last season, we'll get picked apart. And we've got a relatively easy-ish start, but then there's those 5 games that come kind of thick and fast with Arsenal, Man United, Newcastle, and everything else, right? And then it could all just come, plus European games. Then you have the FA Cup and the League Cup, and then you just think, it could unravel quite quickly. But I think it's I think if he's working on a plan B, then maybe he's realised that he can't bring the same tactics that he had in Scotland, and then that will, if we see people changing or making substitutions earlier or having an impact on the game, then we can see that he's trying to change and trying to adapt. I think that's a lot of criticism from some fans is that the substitutions are too late. We don't adapt. We still try and play the same system with Ben Davies and Emerson Royal and someone else in Skip at centre back rather than having the players that there's a lot wrong at this football club, and we're not going to fix it in a short space of time. We need to have 4, 5, 6, 7 years. We need to have the same manager, some more players. So look, I just think the word is patience. We've had 24 years of patience, so what's another couple of years, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, Nick, we've been in such turmoil over the years. We need to just let someone do their job, and he's not an idiot. He's been around the block a few times, and he learned this.
Like you, Jimbo.
You're
not an idiot. You've been around the block a few times.
Yeah,
that's true.
And you need to have a lot of patience to be wrapped around Jim, I've got to tell you. So there we go. You are actually Ange Postecoglou.
So we need to. He's not an idiot. He's going to learn this league, and he's going to adapt to it. I'm sure. He's not just going to keep going out and playing and getting beat and playing and getting beat. He's going. Of course, he's going to make tweaks and. So we just got to give him a bit of time. It's no good sacking him and bringing someone else in and starting again. Let's see what he can do. It's easy just to say, right, let's throw the towel in and bring someone else in. They just give him a bit of time and work it out, which I'm sure he will do with the right players that he wants.
I'm going to make a prediction now. I think it's going to be Solanke and Neto, and they're going to be the only two that we bring in between now and the end of the window.
Oh, interesting. Jimbo, any predictions for you?
I've still got a feeling Eze's going to come. I have. I have got a feeling he's going to come. But I was hoping it was going to be Toney, but it looks like it's going to be Solanke. I still think they'll buy another striker. If he goes for Richarlison, they'll buy another striker. And I'm hoping that Eze comes in. But, with this club, who knows?
I think Solanke will be one. I don't think we'll get Neto. I think he will probably go. Man City are apparently interested amongst others. I don't think we'll get Eze because they surely can't sell Elise, Guy, and Eze. I mean, that's just madness.
And then there was that talk about Anderson being rumoured to us, and it was like they're not going to let their whole spine go.
Yeah, I think possibly Solanke, possibly that Desiree Doué, because there's talks that's not dead in the water. And maybe another child, probably, that we can stick in the creche. Who knows? Ian says, I can't get this anti-Ange chat. This is a season where we have more of our own players and players playing his system. Does anyone seriously think we should sack another manager and start again?
Thank you, Ian. No.
I think for me, there's always a turning point, right? And I understand the turning point is obviously Timo Werner twice, right? And I think if Ange hadn't have said what he said about all the players that come in, they're on me. I think that has put a target on his back because, again, the Solanke thing. Oh, well, Ange wanted Solanke. Well, I don't want Solanke. Solanke isn't good enough. Why does Ange want Solanke? So I think he made a rock. I understand why he did it because he's trying to change. He's trying to change his football club and he's trying to change the way that we're trying to do things because obviously all the hate gets directed and some of it is valid towards the board and Daniel Levy and some of it, like I said, what it is now should be at Munn and Lange. But these things take time, right? This process, trust the process. takes time. And I think sacking another manager would be how many managers since 2019? I've probably got more.
14.
Yeah, so it's just, I haven't even got enough fingers. I'll be past my toes in a minute. And once I've got past my fingers and toes, I won't be able to count. So,
it's 14 since Levy's been in charge. I think.
Yeah, so look, I just think we need to have that stability. And if he's going to adapt and he's going to change, then great. I think from getting players out, I think we've done things that we've never really done in the past, where we've terminated contracts. All right, we still, like an Ndombele, we kept on him longer than we should have done, but we've terminated contracts. We've let players go on the cheap, and I think there's another one. If Solomon goes out on loan, if we can just get rid of a Solomon, which is probably on loan, if we can get rid of Reguilon, and I think it's, I think that it's, in terms of outgoings, it's a really positive window. But you've seen the way that things have changed as well, right? It's this PSR or non-PSR or whatever the financial system is supposed to be going towards. It's changed the landscape. You're not seeing people buying 7, 8, 9 players. You're not seeing 150 millions being dropped left, right, and centre. So we need to adapt. We need to change. And I just think like with Ian and like with everyone, if he's here for another season, 4 or 5 seasons, then we're going to be in a much better place. And if that means it then sets it up for the next manager, then Ange's realistically done his job, because he's changed the mindset of the club, the fans, and everyone together then knows what we're going for. And look, if it's just, I know someone asked a question about if it's just Solanke and Neto, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm still probably disappointed, because I think, again, we've not really addressed, if we're talking about strikers or a 6, or, we all know where the gaps are. I don't think we've addressed the problems, but then there are players, and then let's see where we are at the end of the season. We can't go down the route of how we've always done, because this is on us as fans, where I told, it's this definitive, I'm right, they're wrong, I told you so, I knew he wasn't going to be good. Well, the players are going to be seeing this. You see how you saw how the Arsenal players know all the guys from AFTV. They'll see stuff. You see the players have downtime. They're going to see Spurs fans talking about them. And if we're just talking about them in negative light all the time, then it's going to have an effect on them, because they're human beings at the end of the day. So we go to the end of the window, we see what we are at the end of the window, and then we see where we are. January, we see where we are at the end of the season, because no one knows what's going to happen. No one knows that, you're relying on injuries, other clubs, the draws, all these types of variables that you don't have control on. We have control of the 11 players that go out on that pitch, and whatever happens, we need to support them. I just think that there's going to be a lot of games coming thick and fast. We're not going to be in this the time where we've got one game a week and we've just drawn or we've just lost and it's the end of the world, and people aren't going to be able to go out of their houses because Tottenham Hotspur haven't signed a player, and all this nonsense that I see. We just need to try and be positive and just support the team, back the manager, and see where it goes. Otherwise, what's the point? You can let it change your mood. There's enough nonsense going on in this world. That you see on the news and you see that's reported. You don't need to add to it. At the end of the day, it's just a football club. It's not, it's just a football club. It's not life or death. So let's just be patient, and then you're going to be fine. I think I've made peace with that. If you can't, then I understand why, because maybe that Tottenham Hotspurs, that's all you've got. And I understand that maybe it affects you in ways it doesn't affect me. But if you can try and make a little bit of peace with it and realise that this is what it is, then you can't be disappointed. I mean, Jim will be disappointed when the quad doesn't happen, but he doesn't. Every time we have conversations or there's a debate or in the group or what have you, Jim's like, I don't let it affect me. Every time he says it, I don't let it affect me in that way. And I always say, I don't know why you're getting so upset. And it's like, I pay this for this, I pay this for this. Okay, cool, that's your choice. You don't have to pay for it. I would, like I've said a million times, I would get far more enjoyment from spending £1,300 on a holiday than it would to go and see Tottenham. But like everyone said, like Angus just said, we're not a football club anymore. We're an entertainment club. We're a business. Yeah. We're not having to scrimp and save. And for me, going there now, do I go there because I expect us to win or want us to win? Of course I want us to win. But actually, me driving away from Tottenham, whatever the result, unless it's a North London derby, doesn't really matter. I've probably chosen the wrong word, but it doesn't really matter to me in a way that it does to.
The thing is, Nick,
Jim, before you talk, you need to go out and back in because you're echoing terrible.
Oh, am I?
Yeah. And while you're going out and back in, I can ask Nick a question that Rinketic said. This was for you. In the worst case scenario, and if we get Poch back, aren't we back to square one?
Well, one, I don't think he comes back because of the way that he was treated. I think we were all there very rarely over all of the managers that have gone. You know, Poch at the start of Poch there. Poch, I was kind of sat there like in absolute shock. I don't know what's going on.
What's Jim done? He's done.
Jim's like mucking around with the controls now, isn't he?
Not.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, Jimbo.
So I think look, are we back at square one? Yeah, because he hasn't got the same team that he had. He doesn't have, again, like what Ian said, if we sack another manager, what happens? We go back to what the next manager wants. Conte, Mourinho, defensive football. They want different players. And attacking football. Now we sign all the players for them. Now we sign all the players for this one. Now we sign all the players for that one. And it will just be a never-ending kind of circle. I just think that, I was gutted when Poch went. I was kind of sat there in shock. And then when you saw the Mourinho links, you were like, this is unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? You were like, this is ridiculous. And I think, obviously, Christian Eriksen summed it up with the look on his face when he walked in. Do you know what I mean? So, look, we are. Where's all our money? Our money, Phil, is in the
Daniel
club.
Levy's skyrocket.
So it's probably in a few bricks in the hotel or in the Skywalk or anything else. I think we've got a lot of things that happen at this football club that they do a lot. And yes, the stadium should have been the game changer.
And it still might be, Nick. It still might be. You got to remember,
it still might be.
Look how long it took. Look how long it took Arsenal to rebuild after buying their stadium. And the thing is about it upsetting you. I've learned over the years, it's just not worth it. If football's meant to be enjoyable, enjoy it. Like the people that have the hate for Arsenal, I haven't got time to sit back and fucking hate them like any other club, Because before we went in the North London derby, there was a woman who supported Arsenal. Me and her had a big cuddle and had a chat. Then you go in there and Kate gets abused. But I'm not going to come out and start hating Arsenal fans, all Arsenal fans, because she got abused by a few idiots. Why hate? It's just like
there's too much hate in the world as there is.
Yeah, you got Arsenal fans coming here. They obviously don't hate us, otherwise they wouldn't be in our room. It's a game of football. It's meant to be enjoyable. You're meant to be like. I had a season ticket for over 20 years. I never come out the ground with my mates and was slagging all the players down, and looking to get in fights with the opposite team. We come out and we debated the game, and that's what it should be about. I ain't got time, and I ain't got the energy to sit here hating Levy and hating this player and hating that player. It's a game of football, and I love watching the game. And when we lose, it disappoints me, but I ain't going to let it affect my weekend. That's for sure.
at the end of the day, as Nick said, there is so much bad stuff happening in the world at the minute. I mean, it's terrifying. It's meant to be a bit of escapism football, They don't. I'm sure Daniel Levy doesn't sit at home worrying about what the fans think. I'm sure that the players don't sit at home worrying about what the fans think. Honestly, I don't think they do. We watch it for enjoyment, and if it comes to a stage where you don't enjoy it, then don't watch it. That's the only thing I can say. I will come on here and say what I think's wrong with the club and be frustrated, but I'll never be toxic about our club because there's a million fans out there from other teams that will do it for us. They can't wait to be toxic.
Plus, it's our club, Kate. It's the club we support. I'm not going to be toxic about the club I support. If there's things going wrong, I can't change it. So what's the look and feel hugging birds in front of Kate?
Yeah, I was there as well.
She was lovely.
Got no shame. She was lovely. She was only a little lady, but she was lovely. But yeah, I do agree with you. It does get over the top. I mean, we took last week off. I come back and I was so down with it when I Jim, because all I could see everywhere was hate and toxicity. And I said to Jim, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. It was just, I just don't understand it. I get the frustration, but at the end of the day, it is only a game of football. It's not life and death. And no matter if we all come on here every day and scream and shout at each other, nothing's going to change because of that. You just sometimes have to accept it is what it is. But as someone always said, everyone supports their club differently. So Tottenham should be paying off their stadium quicker than Arsenal because of the revenue you bring in from your concerts, American football, go-kart.
I agree with that.
I was talking to one of the guys that work at the stadium yesterday, and he said the go-karting track, he hates it. He said it's a nightmare. They have to dismantle it every time there's a concert. They have to dismantle it when the season. So they've had to put it back together. It opens again tomorrow or next Thursday. Then when the game there's a game and they have to dismantle it. He said it's the worst thing they ever did. He absolutely loathes it. And he said God only knows what's going to be next. But Levy just knows how to make a pound note. That's what can we say? We love when you lose and love you more when a manager gets sacked. The more bad things that happen to you, the more we love you. The love just doesn't stop. Bugger off, Vindaloo. Moondog says, I've gone from the quad to the triple to the double. Thanks for the super chat, Moondog. Love it. Next time, I dread to think what it's going to be. Maybe it is their life, Joey. But I just think sometimes you have to just realise that there's no point getting upset with stuff you can't change. And don't matter if...
Joey, don't get me wrong. I mean, I think everybody knows what I think of Spurs. And I read about them every day. But the thing is, I don't let the negative stuff get to me and affect my life. Because it can send you into a spiral. When I was younger, I was a bit like that, when I was in my teens and that. But it's as you get older, I think you should get
mellow to it.
Yeah, you mellow to it, especially with Tottenham. I mean, we would just be miserable for all our life, wouldn't we? If we got miserable over everything that went wrong, we'd never be happy.
Vindaloo says, honestly, I do hope the trophy drought ends for the fans. They deserve better. Yeah. Do you know what? I appreciate that comment, and we do deserve better, but I don't think the trophy drought will be ending anytime soon. I don't think Mason Mount is the right signing for us, Van. I think he's proved by going to Man United that he's not all that. So
no, I don't agree with that, Kate. I don't agree with that. I think that he hasn't been given a fair shake there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nick, do you like Mount? How would you feel if he comes to Spurs?
Joey say
Mason Mount. Wow, the Chelsea pulled United's pants down with that one, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, no, yeah. I just think like that. And yeah, you're right, Joey. I get it. For some people, it is their life. That's all they have, and it's not through their choice or anything else. 100%. But for some, they choose hate, they choose violence, they choose that way to be. And I think for me, I'd rather choose, I'd rather choose by having the choice to choose the way that I am. I don't have a problem with people like Kate said. Everyone chooses how to support this football club, however they want to support it. I just think that some people could choose to do it in a better way that will then make them feel a little bit better about everything.
Go back to what Cooper just said. He's 100% right. You know, and the thing is that us as fans, there's nothing we can do about it. You can scream, shout, protest. At the end of the day, we believe he's going to go when he goes.
Yeah, I don't think he's going anywhere because he's earning bundles of money and he is making the entertainment company as a whole, Tottenham Hotspur Entertainment Company, a very successful and lucrative business. So why is he going to walk away? I do, Angus. I think you're very close with Man City anyway for the league this year, and I do have a feeling this might be your year. We shall see.
Right, Angus, that's twice now we've said this. We're not saying it again, all right? So stop probing for this to come up because it'll probably end up somewhere. Oh, Tottenham fans say Arsenal going to win the league. Look at those now, blah 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 blah. You know.
My days of fighting everyone smashing TVs up over Spurs are long gone. I have a love-hate relationship with the club now. Yeah. We love them. They hate us, maybe. There was something else I wanted to bring up. Yeah, this one, Jimbo. At what point do you stop backing Ange?
Never. I never stop backing him. If he's our manager, I'll back him. The only one I lost love with was Conte, and it was only because of the football we was playing that I just couldn't stand to watch it. And I still wanted us to win, obviously. And but I just hated the football. I hated watching it. If Man City was on the other side, I'd have switched over and watched them. But no, I'll never stop backing him. And if the next manager comes in, I'll back him as well. I'll never stop backing him. If he kamikaze football, then I never stop backing Ozzy Ardiles. And now that was kamikaze football.
No, but can I say something, Jimbo? I've got to criticise you a little bit here, live on air. I was anti-Poch being sacked. I was so against Poch being sacked. And your exact words to me were, it's time he's got to go.
Yeah, but I didn't stop backing him, Kate. Did I slag him down to you? I just said I thought it was time. Yeah, but that's not slagging him down. That's having an opinion on what's happening at the club. And I thought that we'd gone stale and we needed a fresh start.
We needed a fresh squad. That's what we needed.
Yeah, I still watched Tottenham when he was, even though it was hard at the end. But I never slagged him down to you, and said he was useless. Or I just said I think we need a change. That's what I said to you, and I was right. We did need a change at that time.
I don't think we did. I still stand by the fact that he should still be our manager.
Jim, remember, Jim. Women remember. Whatever date and time, whatever things happen. So you can't win this discussion.
No,
I'm calling it a discussion, Jim, because I don't want you going down the stairs again. All right? I'm trying to help you here.
No, I think with Poch, when it comes to the end of Poch, I used to look at him, and you know how much I love Poch, Kate. I loved him, right? He gave us some of the best. That game we beat Liverpool 4-1. That just, I can see every kick of the ball in that game because it was just a phenomenal game. But the thing was, at the end, he looked a beaten man. He looked like the world. He had the world on his shoulders, and I just thought that he needed to go for the sake of him, and we needed a change to freshen it all up. It wasn't like I disliked him. I don't dislike Poch, not at all. He's a hard man to dislike, isn't he? There's nothing to dislike about him.
I mean,
it's like you most people have had pets, and at the point when you've got to make that difficult decision, you got to take them to the vets to put them out of their misery. And Poch was kind of at that point. Right?
Yeah, he was at that point. He just looked like he was a beaten man, and it was not only for Tottenham. It was not only for Tottenham, but it was for him as well, for his own health. I thought he needed to go.
I think, but the argument I always put up is I think Poch switched off because he knew he wasn't going to get any players. He said it's going to be hard. The squad weren't going to be upgraded, updated, however you want to do it. I still think he should be here, and I will take him back tomorrow. I love him. He is for me Mr. Spurs. I'm sorry. I back Ange. I like Ange, but I don't see him being the answer to the problems here.
If the Poch comes back, I'll be behind him 100%.
Yeah,
without any doubt.
Big up Ian Ferguson. Good to see you. Levy has had fans fooled thinking we need to change when all we needed was Poch to spend money. Exactly my fault as well. Last thing we want for you, Jimbo, is down the stairs. But seriously, Ange would need to fall off big time for things to change. Poch never got any signings for 18 months. It didn't help his demise. We all know Poch will be our next permanent manager. There's a few in the boardroom that don't want him back, but he will return. I would love to have him back. I still don't know if I can see it. Poch turned sour because he wasn't able to strengthen the squad. Yeah, that's what I think. I mean, I read an article about how difficult it is to deal with Daniel Levy the other day, and I wouldn't want to work with him.
I'll tell you the best way to think about it. If I think of Daniel Levy in the same bracket as my ex-wife, I don't want to talk or think about to either of them. So I think that's the easiest way to describe it. No, they're both arseholes. That's the polite word that I can say to describe both of them. I have to have contact in some shape or form because the kids are like the football team. I've got to have contact with them in some shape or form. And I cannot wait for the day when I do not have to do that as much as I have to at the moment. So maybe that's the easiest way to explain
it. I agree, Kuva, 1,000,000%. I don't like going back to an ex, but Poch is a good fit if we're going to push through with the youth policy. I agree with that. Redknapp will always hold that role for me. Anthony says, I've got some bad news. Liverpool in talks for Zubimendi. Yeah, Tom Little was talking about it this morning in the group. So, yeah, I don't think Zubimendi will go there, but they are in talks, I know. Kate's correct on Poch. You needed backing when you were on a high. Personally, I don't like Poch. No, some people don't. I love him. While we sign players like Werner and Johnson, we won't win anything. Angus, I will block you from this page if you keep going on with this. You're trying to make it happen. I can see what you're doing now. Stop it immediately. Levy wasn't going to back him and Poch became disillusioned. Poch made me happy. I don't think a manager has ever had that impact. I agree. He made me believe we could beat anyone any day of the week. I adored him.
I go back to a lot of managers with this club, more than I can remember. Right? And Poch did give us some of the best football I can remember for years and years. Some of the football we played was just off the planet, and we never won anything. I mean, that was the biggest sin.
Yeah, I agree. Stop it, Angus, please. Getting very concerned. Obviously, we talked about Solanke at the start, but if you could choose a striker that's available, not sort of plucking Isak from Newcastle. If there's someone that we could get, who would your choice be, Jim? Would it be Toney you'd go for?
Toney, yeah.
It'd still be Toney you go for.
Yeah, Toney. I think that he would fit in well with us. And then, I mean, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on his attitude. And he's done it. His gambling problems are behind him. So I would take Toney.
Nick, have you got anyone you'd like?
Doesn't matter who I want. I want a Ferrari and a 21-year-old model, but you can't always get what you want, can you?
Paul Nova.
I didn't say that. I'm just saying what we want and what we have and what we need is two different things. Doesn't matter what I want.
Can I just say, Kate, that Phil P is 100% right there. That
good coach, he's a poor manager.
Or manager, because he picked players when he shouldn't have picked players and put players in when they were injured, you know. And I agree with him 100%.
Afternoon, Mr. Kaufman. I thought you was on holiday.
Yeah, where are you, Ben?
Another holiday,
yeah. We want Isak. Yeah, I can't see Isak going, but we'll see. Spot on Paul. Poch gave us the best football. Redknapp was close too, but he also gave me the feeling that we might win the league for the first time. I want that feeling again. Exactly that. I thought we could beat everybody when we had Poch. What makes me laugh?
When we was in our top of our game with Poch, everyone we played, I just thought we was going to win.
Yeah.
Whereas now, Jim, everyone we play, I think we're going to lose. So.
Yeah. Toney can't play Ange ball. Wouldn't make me unhappy. Vlahovic is out of reach. Yeah, I mean the striker market is so bad at the minute. To be fair, and we're all looking for the next. Not, I know you can't replace Harry Kane, but we're looking for someone to sort of step into his shoes a bit, and that's hard shoes to fill. The media had no media skill, and we had to babysit him in the end. Nobody's in. No, I haven't watched the Olympics. To be fair,
Yeah, I thought
on holiday tomorrow, just came back from my driving theory test and he passed. Woohoo! Well done, Benji. That's what William's got to start revising for now because he's 18 in a few weeks. He wants to get out there, start driving. So I didn't even know you was learning to drive, Ben. So yeah, well done to you. Right, what else? Right, we've done that one. How many points do you think we get from our first 5 games? Leicester, Everton, Newcastle, Arsenal, Brentford. Tough start. Jim?
15.
I knew I could have bet £1 million you were going to say 15.
15.
Truly? Is that truly what you believe?
Yeah, 15. We got Arsenal at home first, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to go 15.
Nicholas?
Everybody laughed last season when I said it. And what happened?
So I think Leicester. I want to say a win, but I think it could be a draw.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm going for.
Beat Everton, lose to Newcastle, draw against Arsenal, beat Brentford. So what's that?
So
8?
Yeah. I'm going a point at Leicester, beat Everton, so that's 4. A point against Newcastle, 5. Lose to Arsenal and beat Brentford, 8.
8 as well, just a different combination. 15.
Hey, I'm watching Barry and Jim closely. Why are you watching Jim and Barry closely?
I'm a happy clap as well. I'm a happy clapper. So you want as close as you want.
You are not beating us, says Angus. Yeah, well, Jimbo thinks you are. 10 points, 9 points, 12 points. Wow. There's optimism there. And Vindaloo said, let's make predictions where you're going to finish. I say 6th, then we come back to it at the end of the season. It's difficult to make predictions yet. We need to do one when the window's shut because it could, you don't know until we see who we're going to get. So I think I'll do that at the end of August. We'll make our predictions. I know the season would have started, but it's a bit difficult to sort of guess.
No, I think, Kate, next Wednesday we need to do predictions. We're predictions for everything. Predictions, FA Cup, League Cup, Champions League, Premier League, and where we're going to finish. And
next Wednesday, the show, we'll do a full predictions of where we think, and I'm going to keep notes and see where we all are. Jim's going to be first, win it.
Yeah. Jim, we don't need you on the show. Don't worry.
Yeah, you can have a day off. We'll have the Champions League. Jim will go Spurs, even though we're not in it. He'll still have us there winning the league, the Champions League. The last thing I just want to touch on before we go is Dave and Jack over at the Irish Hotspur seem to think that we should forget the idea of getting a striker, use the 65 million somewhere else, because Kulu is the answer to our striker conundrum and can play as a number 9. I put the idea across to Patrick on the terrace and he said, no way. Okay for the odd game, but no as a permanent striker. Jim, what do you think?
Depends who we spend the rest of the money on, I suppose. That's I would like a real tough number 6 in, but it depends where the money's going to go. That's the thing with me. If they spend the money really well in other places, a Kulu can play there. I mean, he's shown that. Okay. So it all depends for me. It's all right saying yes, but it depends where they spend the money and who they spend it on.
Yeah. Nick, how do you feel about the idea of Kulu as a striker?
Look, I think, to be fair, I think he's done well in pre-season, and I think he'll be far more effective than he has been out on that right-hand side or on the left-hand side. So, is he the answer? No. Does he provide a solution? Yes. I think it's probably the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I'd say that's fair. I think we should spend 80 on Zubimendi. Ben, I've been saying that since the bloody window opened, but it's never going to happen. Barry, when are you going to start learning Italian?
I'm just going to look.
He's just checking. We're on Emerson Watch. We're going to go over to our Emerson Royal correspondent and find out if there's any movements on his.
Nothing's from 4 hours ago. Yeah, nothing.
Okay. So at the minute, he doesn't need to learn Italian.
I don't need to learn Italian, but I don't need to learn Italian anyway. What am I going to do when I get there? A couple of beers. They know what I'm going to say. They're going to look at me and say, "Hey, we know what this lad wants." I don't need to. I just need to know how to say good morning and thank you. That's all. So I know how to say that anyway. So it doesn't. I don't need to know anything else.
There we go.
Emerson's not going to need to worry about it. So, There
you go. Jeff says, what do you think about Cutie playing the 6 and Dragusin coming in at centre back? There's a lot of people suggesting that. I don't see Romero as a 6. I think he'd be getting carded left, right, and centre if he plays as a 6. But do you think he could play that sort of role?
I think it could work. Yeah, I think it could work, definitely. If he did it, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Well, it'd be interesting to see him do it and see if it does work. But we're doing square pegs in round holes again. Rather than buying a 6, we're buying a player that doesn't play a 6 in a 6. Why not just buy a 6?
Yeah. I mean, well, we don't know that a 6 ain't going to come yet, Kate.
Well, Ange doesn't normally play that way. But, I mean, Adrian's been saying put Cutie as a 6 for ages. I mean, Nick, do you see anything? No,
I can't see it. I can't see it.
I can't see it.
I can't see that happening. No.
Yeah. This is what I mean. He'd get red cards left, right, and centre. I think. Is Emerson Royal's agent the best in the world? Barca, Spurs, Milan. The bloke is pulling up trees.
Emerson's pulling up trees, Phil. What can you say? Linked to the best clubs in the world.
I actually wish we were going to the Bayern game. Now I know that Kane's going to be there. Little bit gutted that we're not.
I can't. Like I said the other week, I said my nice memory. Kane scoring a hat trick against Shakhtar Donetsk, and he went on his merry way. I can't have him come in and absolutely ripping us a new one on Saturday, because that'll just be like. Because what you'll have is it'll be good, because obviously there'll be, there won't be like the diehard fans there, let's just say, or as many that will be there, and there'll probably be someone clapping when Harry Kane scores, and then someone will say, "Why are you clapping Harry Kane? He just scored against us," and then it'll all kick off, and then it'll just be so unnecessary. So, let's hope. Let's just hope if Romero must be back, right, from the Olympics, or
he's back,
or whatever he's doing. It's Romero just go and fly one in. I think the team that starts on Saturday, you've got to be looking at that team being the one that starts the first game against Leicester. So I think the only question marks really, and what we said about it, is the Bergvall over Maddison. That would potentially be the only change. And then obviously if something happens with Solanke, Brennan Johnson, by the way, is getting an absolute free ride on that right-hand side at the moment. So we need someone to come in and give him a bit of a challenge, because he's getting a bit of a free ride at the moment. So, most of it. So I guess we're going to play. I don't know. We're going to play Mickey and Romero and Porro, Vicario. Don't really care who plays at left back, because Udogie will be back soon. But I guess it'll be a Spence or a Ben Davis. And then it'll be a Son, and then a Kulu in the 9, and then a Johnson up front, and then the midfield. I guess that'll be interesting to see what he does with that midfield, whether it'll be a Sarr, Bergvall, Maddison, or Basuma, or I don't know what he's going to do. But I think you've got to look at that being close to the first team that starts against Leicester.
Yeah, I agree. Playing one of the world's best centre-halves as a 6 would be madness, yeah. Well, it's what Spurs do. We like to move people about. But Yeah, next Wednesday, that's a good idea. We'll do the full predictions of winning the league.
I might surprise you.
Top form, I think we do. We do the lot. I agree, Paul. Wingers desperately need some wingers. Werner and Johnson doesn't fill me with much hope. There's news now that Solomon looks like he could be going on loan as well. So we shall see. But I think on Saturday's 5:30 kickoff. Is that right?
I haven't got a clue.
I think it's a 5:30 kickoff. I'm sure I had someone say that the other day. Need Pedro Neto. Yeah, I like him, but he's just so injury prone. It does worry me about signing him. Hopefully Bentancur comes in fit and ready to go. I don't feel Maddison deserves to start over Bergvall. He's been much better and more consistent than Maddison. Yep, I agree with that as well. I thought you was looking at the kickoff time.
Yeah, 5:30. It's the Malta Cup on Saturday, so we could win a trophy.
We're already K-League champions. Whoop, whoop. The K-League actually stands for Knickers, I found out. So it's the Knickers League champion we are. I can't believe they actually put fireworks on Google. What a rub up. But there we go. Anything anyone else wants to say before we go? There wasn't any Arsenal news, Angus. I did look. All there was talk about was possibly Ramsdale going, but that was it. So, anything else, Jimbo?
No, just stay positive.
Try and stay positive. Yeah, well, we can only try. See, don't put too much pressure on this kid. He looks good, but a bit early to start comparing him to Glenn Hoddle. But I hope you're right. Nick, anything you want to say before we go, Ziz?
He's still here.
Yeah, do you think? Let me ask you two a question. Do you think these young kids? Do you think they feel the pressure?
I think they play without fear, but they probably. I don't think at the minute they feel the pressure. I think if they get put into the first team and playing in the Premier League or the Cup, they will. But I don't know. I don't know what goes through their head.
No, I think for me, the kids, I see it all. You know, I see it when we're playing cricket on a Saturday, right? When I was their age 20 plus years ago. You know, there was a little bit of fear. You'd face someone that played a long time, has got a lot of wickets, and put some pressure on. Now these kids, they don't fear anything. They'll turn around and go, I don't care if you've been the best player in this league for 15 years, 20 years, whatever, or done all these things. I don't care. I'm just going to play the way that I play, and I think that kids these days they don't have that. They don't have that. They don't have the hindsight of history. You know what, Jim? You don't have
the job's dead. Go on, Nick. Sorry.
So yeah, I think the kids. They'll play with no fear, and that's the way that you want them to play. They'll play. They won't play with fear. They've got what have they got to fear? They've actually, some of them have won something, whereas the players that they're playing with haven't won something. And what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing worse can happen. They can't, if they come in, they've almost not got an excuse, but they've almost got a free pass. Well, he's young, he's inexperienced, so that's what happened. But then if he has a blinder, oh, look at this player, look at that player, look at this player. And it's like, oh, okay, all of a sudden. Then I think it's at that point when they start putting in performance after performance after performance, we just need to let them develop and do it. But if they're going to be here, they need to play and they need to, they need to perform. And like I said, they can't do any worse than what we've had the last few seasons. So the only thing can be is positive.
Yeah. Jim, I'll let you answer this question. How big a legend is Mickey Hazard?
He's an absolute massive legend. I mean, I was going when he was playing, and he was loved then. And if you go to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where we've been lucky enough to go with Mickey, they love him there. The staff love him. He can't walk anywhere, and people are asking, You know, even I noticed yesterday, two young guys recognised him straight away.
Yeah.
And asked for photos and autographs. He's a huge legend, and all the staff when we was walking around, they all cuddle him, and so he's obviously a top guy. You know,
Well, he knows them all by name, doesn't he? He knows them all by name. He knows
there.
Their family, and just
and when
go on.
Well, when he stayed with us for about an hour and a half to 2 hours, and when he left, we stayed and was walking around talking to the staff, and not one person said anything but like how much they love him and how good he is with the staff. I mean, he's just a legend. The guy is a massive legend, and I won't have it any other way.
Yeah, he was. It was a brilliant day. It was brilliant to spend time with him. He's the most humble man. To see him stand next to his medal and everything, he's just a great human. He took the time to speak to our son, and yeah, he's a lovely man. So
yeah, Phil. He give his medals to the club.
Yeah, to put in their museum.
To put in their museum, you know, he's just a lovely guy. Just and his football, you'll remember, Phil. His football, it was just the Tottenham way.
Yeah,
go forward and score goals, you know.
And he actually rubbed it in yesterday because he left us to go and see Gary Mabbott, and I was most jealous because he is my hero. But yeah, he left us because he had to go and see Gary. So it was a good day all round. But yeah, try and stay positive. Don't let this shitty club get you down. And I don't mean we're shit. I just mean don't let any football club get you down that much, because there's plenty more stuff going on in the world that's more worrying. Big up, Aaron. Good to see you. Thanks for jumping on. Massive thank you to Kuva for the super chat, and to Vindaloo for the super chat, and to Moondog for the super chat.
Thank you.
Nick, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to come and spend a couple of hours with us in your new shirt, looking all slim, giving us Emerson Royal watch. What are we going to do? If he goes, we're going to have to put Nick on another player's watch.
No. I'll have to have a weekly update from AC Milan to give you that, because there's no. I'm not going to anyone else. So.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for coming on, Jimbo. Don't need to say anything to you.
Thank you.
Ryan says, do you think you're going for Neto, Kate? City are interested. Well, rumours are we are in talks, but I don't know. I've given up trying to work out what's going on. I think I just need to put my hands up and say I ain't got a clue what's going on. I've got physio tomorrow, so it'll be Friday, the next live, and then probably Sunday, because we'll do a match reaction to that. But yeah, I don't think I'll be back in time tomorrow because I've got my first physio. But thanks everyone. Thanks for the new subscribers as well. I've got 10 new subs today, which is nice. Was that Jimbo's quad bike you were discussing? That's what I said to him the other day. The closest you'll get to a quad is if you buy a quad bike. Bless him.
If you don't believe, to me, what's the point?
Yeah.
I believe.
Yes, we all know you believe, Jimbo. But I'll leave it to you, Jim, to close the show.
Come on, you.
Oh no, hang on! Before you close the show, what's your prediction for the score against Bayern Munich?
I think we're going to win 3-1.
Nick?
I think we're going to lose 3-1.
I think we're going to lose 4-1. So Jim's the only positive one in the building. So Jim, I'll let you close the show.
Come on, you Spurs. Fuck the quad bike. Fuck Bayern Munich. Spurs are the fucking best.